and yet one of the largest privately owned companies that serve 8,000 employees. So we've grown significantly in the last 5 years with a couple of acquisitions, both in the spa business, first in the Kappa cash and carry wholesale business, spa business, and also Lowry's and BA, two big cash and carry businesses within the UK. So a lot of acquisitions and mergers that have taken us to that number. These are our values. Tobias was talking about purpose as well yesterday. What's our purpose? It's important that we're clear on our purpose as a family business. Why do we exist? And there it is at the top, to grow a family business in ways that are profitable and sustainable for the benefit of our staff, customers and the community. And it's really important we cover all of those groups. We're there for our staff. We reinvest 98% of our profits. The other 2% goes to local good causes through the Blakemore Foundation. So very ethical business. And we also live our values. They don't just adorn the wall. So when we say we contribute to the community, all staff are encouraged to get involved in local community activities. And we donate over 10,000 community hours a year, including education business partnerships, supporting local schools with reading projects, study tours, workplace visits, mock interviews. We've got a comprehensive sort of education programme which we've received the BITC award for, so we're very proud of that as a business. In terms of the graduate programme, again it was a continuing theme yesterday about succession, talent management. I looked at the John Lewis Register recently, and one of their top 10 risks that they identify is talent and succession. And it's really important in our sort of business, the board, they're getting on with it, Peter included, and we're recognising as a board that a lot of these skills, we've got single points of knowledge, where you've got people with specialist skills that have grown up in the business, and it's now how do we pass that knowledge on, both internally through developing our own people, which Kerry will go on and talk about, but there's also how we can get some external sort of stimulus as well and bring in fresh new talent into the business, and the graduate programme is our vehicle for doing that. So we launched it last year. It's the first time we ventured into a graduate programme. It was a big investment because they're centrally funded through the group, and it's a 2-year development programme. We've taken 2 graduates into our spa business, one into HR and one into our cash and carry business within wholesale, with the aim and the ambition of them becoming future leaders. So it was a significant project to deliver. As I say, first time we ventured into this. We got some good PR out of the campaign, and we worked with our partner in the UK, a company called Easyware. We do all of our digital advertising. Probably like in most companies, the press has gone now. You don't go to press with any job adverts, you put them on digital platforms. It's a much more responsive way of getting candidates and engaging with them too. So this was the recruitment process. It was a very rigorous process for our graduates. The application form, then a first stage sifting interview. Then we actually did an assessment centre, which I'll talk about. And then there was a final interview with the divisional director. It's important, I think, that the directors have got skin in the game, that they're understanding who they're talking to, who they're taking on, that they're a cultural fit with their division and the aims of that department. So the assessment centre, we held it off-site, a company called GTG in the UK, big assessment centre. They use it a lot for the Midlands and the manufacturing industries that they support there. There was a networking session to start, and then the first activity was a debate to talk about our values. So we've got the 5 values, which I've covered on a previous slide. I mean, to put them in order of importance, you can't, but it's just interesting to see how as a group they debated the importance of the values and how they rank them. Then they did a presentation about their passion. I think it's a good way of seeing the real spirit of someone when you ask them to talk about their passion. So it was a diverse range of subjects, from playing football to Sunday lunches, some really odd and weird and wonderful presentations we saw there. But it was them talking about their passion for 5 minutes, how they presented it, how they put it across, which was an important part of the process. Then they did a team building exercise. It's really interesting to see the sort of people that sort of work alone, work collaboratively, or people who fall out with each other in those sessions. So it's a great way of assessing people. And then there was the interview with the hiring director as well. So yeah, a rigorous process to select our graduates. 362 applications, so we're really pleased with the response that we got. We did 78 first stage interviews, so it was a big sort of investment in our time as an HR department supported by the business to do the initial sift. 19 attended the assessment centre, and we took on 4 graduates for the core programme. But subsequently as well, we've taken on 5 further graduates into roles across the business. I think the key is then once you take graduates in, I mean, I think we were able to, our story is our sort of heritage, supporting local good causes, the sort of corporate responsibility approach to our business. That's really attractive for graduates. They're interested more and more in terms of people see our responsibility. But it's then, once they're in the business, that you keep them engaged and you have the right development program in place. So we did master classes after the initial sort of orientation piece. So we got specialists in the business that can talk about marketing, employment law, finance. So they went around a series of master classes within the business. Then we gave them some project leadership training. As a company, even at a senior level, this is something we've missed previously. So it's really important that you take people through. We're sort of going straight into projects, probably going straight into the implementation phase. We weren't probably scoping them, defining them, and planning them. So we've actually put our own bespoke toolkit in place, working with a Danish practitioner, a lady called Suzanne Manston, who I could recommend to use. Come up with a bespoke leadership, project leadership tool that we all now follow. So if there's any strategic projects that we're working on, we take them through this process. And then we take them through leadership training. So Leading the Blakemore Way is our own bespoke leadership training program. And it's a journey into self-awareness, looking at how we think, how we feel, and how we interact with others to deliver our goals. So that's a really big part of the program as well, leadership development, and we continue to mentor people on a monthly basis to support them in their leadership and the challenges they face within the business. In terms of linking with trade partners, as a SPA business, one of our biggest growth areas is university accounts. So Essex University, I visited that site. It's a large SPA store, 10,000 students on the campus, just £85,000 a week. But it's not just a business relationship that we have. We can now develop that into an educational relationship. So again, we support them with study tours, seeing the roles that we have within our business, talking to graduates or undergraduates about the fact that within retail it's not just customer-facing roles. In retail stores, there are all the specialist subjects that sit behind it. So we've engaged very well with Essex. We support their annual sort of talent awards, and also they're a pipeline for us now in terms of providing undergraduates, well, certainly when they graduate, into our graduate scheme. And we're developing and forging links with other universities, including the local one of Wolverhampton and Nottingham, where we also have a store on their campus. So we're back out now looking for graduates, and we're looking to take on another 5 this year. So it's been really well received. Initially there was a bit of sort of negativity. Some of the group board was saying, this is just a cost, we can't afford it at this time. But to grow a sustainable business, you have to make these investments and put these injections into the business at time. To have that sort of external stimulus, have that talent brought into the business from outside, as well as growing your own internally. Okay, so I'll pass you on to Kerry, who's going to talk about the internal talent programme we have within Blakemore Retail.
Morning everyone. So as you'll have gathered from what Ian said, Blakemore's is quite a large, complex business, and we've got many different divisions. But I wanted to talk today about just one of the divisions, Blakemore Retail. So I just wanted to tell you a bit about Blakemore Retail and the Future Leaders Programme that we've been running. So in Blakemore Retail we operate 300 company-owned stores, and of the 8,000 Blakemore employees, over 5,000 of those are in retail, so it's quite a large division. Obviously we want to look after those 5,000 odd people, and one of the ways we do that is through the Blakemore Retail Rewards, and that's about reward and recognition, and there's various initiatives in there, things like staff discount, long service awards and retirement gifts. We trade out of many different types of locations, so we'll have urban, residential and rural, and we also have what we call transient sites, such as airports and universities. And in recent years, we've really focused on the additional services that we offer our customers, with things like post offices, and in particular on our food service offer and food service brands, such as Subway, Greggs and Daily Deli. So our aspiration then is to make our offer fresh, modern, convenient, friendly, and to be an employer of choice. And clearly to achieve all that and sustain all that requires leadership, good strong leadership, not only for today, but for tomorrow. So in Blakemore Retail we're quite fortunate because right here, right now, we've got strong leaders in the business. We feel like we're in a safe pair of hands. But when we looked about tomorrow's leaders, the very senior people who are going to move into those positions, we thought, perhaps there's a bit of a gap. we haven't got people job ready or are becoming job ready to move into those very senior roles. So we thought we'd better do something about that, and we introduced the Future Leaders Programme to address that. This is the purpose of the programme, to give candidates a wider understanding and knowledge of AF Lakemore and the convenience sector by improving operations, commercial and behavioural skills. So getting the programme started, it's a 2-year programme and it started a year ago, so April 2015 is when it began. And we invited 20 area managers to apply for a place on the programme. 9 applied, 6 were accepted, 1 has since left the programme and 1's already been seconded into the position of a regional manager. So each future leader is assigned a mentor, so that's either myself or one of 2 company directors. And the idea was to expose these area managers to new and challenging projects. And area managers, it's already quite a senior role within the business, sharp-end operational role, but we wanted to stretch them even further. So the mentors meet up with their future leader fairly regularly through one-to-one meetings, and they also complete monthly diaries so we keep close to them and close to the development. And the whole group meets quarterly. And when we meet, they're involved in both individual and group projects. And as I say, we're very mindful that these are already very busy task-focused roles, so we don't want to just add more work in. So the projects we give them, we need to make sure that they really add value and they count. The types of things they will look at is developing chilled food or developing store managers. And they also attend senior meetings to present on PIPs, which is profit improvement plans. And they'll deliver presentations to board level. So typically that would be something that is outside the remit of an area manager's role. So again, we're trying to stretch their thinking and their experiences. We also need them to continue not only using the leadership techniques they've been trained in, but we expect them to champion those techniques within their area of the business. So what's next? Well, we've looked at the programme, we think it's given us what we need. We've got 1 regional manager out of it so far. It's looking very likely that we're going to have another one within the next 2 months. So we intend to take a second cohort on next April. And this time, rather than just target small populations such as area managers, we'll actually expand the application base. And that will include other areas of business such as food service and IT. The programme sits very much with one of our key values, something Ian touched on, sits very much with the value of maximising staff potential, and we think it gives people a clear career path that people at an area management level can see how they could actually have the potential to reach the very senior roles or board level. And finally, this is a quote from Richard Branson that I picked up on a couple of weeks back. I thought it was quite interesting, and he said, "Train people well enough so they can lead, but treat them well enough so they don't want to." And I think that is very much how AF Lakemore approaches employees as well. Thank you.